everyone, welcome back to another episode of Stating the Obvious. Let's start with our regularly scheduled intro. Renee, I'm trying to catch you off guard. Can you state something obvious for us?
Most of the time I do. I try to find like a very niche fact that just sounds obvious, but at the same time you didn't know about it. But this time, fuck it, real analysis just gives you anal. Like it just it's such a hard topic. I just can't. That is my fact.
You just can't.
I just can't.
Is that really obvious?
The name is real anal, so real anal. So it is kind of obvious,
Okay.
but at the same time you
Okay.
wouldn't know unless you actually took it.
Okay, I buy it. All right, Noah, how about you? Would you state something obvious for us?
I think mayonnaise is an underrated condiment, and I think that's a fact.
I agree. I will second
No,
this opinion.
He just said, I think this is a fact.
I mean, it is a fact, and if you disagree with
Okay.
me, it's because you're wrong.
All right,
Okay,
and Jacob, state something obvious for us.
Yeah, I'm taking so many organic chemistry classes. I can now draw perfect hexagons on demand. So many perfect hexagons, and it's so
This is
satisfying.
not
now.
This is not an obvious fact.
Jacob.
This is obvious.
But
This is
you know
obvious.
what? It's completely okay because we have Anirudh Garg to make up for it. We have a guest today on today's episode of Stating the Obvious. So, Anirudh, will you join us in our regular intro and state something obvious
Thank you
for
for
us?
having me. And stating the obvious, the eye is actually a part of the brain, not a separate organ.
What the
This
fuck?
is true. This is true.
See?
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
And I got the prospective doctor backing me up on that.
Yeah, okay, damn. I guess that does make sense. I don't know. I guess I never really gave it much thought. Your eyes are just your eyes.
Well, actually, a little bit of a story. Yesterday, I got like a pretty serious injury because of a concussion. So one of the impacts is hypersensitivity to light, which also caused headaches. So whenever you get rocked around or you have high adrenaline, the hypersensitivity to light can trigger headaches.
How did you get concussed?
I got strangled, and I got taken down, and
Ah.
smashed against the mat, and strangled. Jiu-Jitsu tournament.
Yikes.
All right, more on that later. Okay, Anirudh, why don't you just tell us a bit about yourself? You
Okay,
know,
so
just who you
I
are.
guess like all of you, I graduated from Plano West. I'm currently studying economics at UTD. I am in the process of publishing my own book. I am a combat sports athlete, and I am a connoisseur in psychedelic mushrooms.
I'm sorry, did you just call yourself a combat sports athlete?
Yes.
Explain.
I compete in combat sports. I train.
And what are those combat sports?
I've competed in Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu.
Anirudh, I'm gonna tell you right now, nobody calls them that. It's MMA. It's mixed
I have
martial
not
arts.
competed in the sport of MMA yet.
I like how Noah just glanced over the connoisseur of psychedelic mushrooms and took issue with the combat sports
This is
athlete.
why I love Noah. His
Look,
head is in the right place.
There's nothing wrong with taking shrooms, all right? Let's be honest. Like, if I'm being honest, Anirudh is entirely the type of person that would expect to take shrooms.
Why, thank you.
What I can't stand for is the fact that he calls himself a combat sports artist.
Athlete.
Athlete. Whatever.
Athlete Noah.
Athlete.
Wait, so why do you have contention with that?
Because nobody calls it that. Just call it MMA. If you say, "Oh, I do MMA," everybody knows what you're talking about. If you say, "I'm a combat sports athlete," people think that you're getting on a horse and jousting the people on the
Okay,
weekends.
but here's the problem. If I say I do MMA, that is misinformation because I have never actually done MMA in a professional setting or even in a competitive setting.
Oh, okay, yeah, but you don't have to be a competitive MMA fighter to do MMA.
No.
MMA isn't it's if you play football, you don't have to play in the NFL to play football.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't call myself an athlete if I just do something recreationally.
I mean, I don't think
I only consider.
athletics
Well-
isn't a professional title, is it?
Okay.
I guess we're arguing
Well, if
over
you're wondering
semantics.
why the banter between these two is flowing so nicely, is because obviously we all know each other from high school. Anirudh he did debate. for a while.
He
but-
was my LD captain, and I will tell you right now, our LD program, our Lincoln Douglas debate program, was hot garbage.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, I agree.
don't try to contend that.
No,
on it, like you
I
can.
completely agree. What you're saying is 100% truth.
Yeah, Anirudh, I only have one question for you though. Why did you wear a fedora to all the tournaments?
So
yeah, I'm also
so
genuinely
we'll get
curious.
to that.
okay,
I just want to back up a little bit, explain to the viewers or the listeners who don't do debate or like may not know the debate lingo. So basically, there's a few different forms of debate. Public forum debate is one, and that's 2-on-2. Lincoln Douglas debate is another, and that's 1-on-1. And the thing that separates Lincoln Douglas debate is that it's more philosophy oriented. But at our school, Jasper and later Plano West, LD was basically a place where you put all the weird kids who don't fit in either Congress, Extemp, or PF.
Yeah, just for reference, the four of us, we were all PFers. Any of the topics that we were talking about in previous episodes, which you should definitely check out, were all based around like public forum debate.
yeah, I did Lincoln Douglas debate. I will probably agree that public forum is a lot more accessible. It's just easier to understand, and I think it's more productive. It's the most productive of the debate activities. So credit to you all.
I don't know. Honestly, we spent most of our time playing Smash.
Yeah,
Sure.
to be
Still
honest,
more
not very
productive than what I
productive.
was doing.
Oh man, you're gonna have to tell me about those Beauregard cases sometimes. But anyways, yeah. So Anirudh was my LD captain, and I don't think there was ever a single occasion on which I respected his authority. I'm pretty sure, like from day one, I'm pretty sure I just insulted him every single
Yes, you did.
every other minute, and he took it very well, which surprised me.
A lion cares
But
not for the
ever
opinion
since
of
then-
sheep.
All right, to quote Mussolini, but yeah. So ever since then, I've been willing to give Anirudh some leeway. He's in my good book just because I'm able to shit on him and he doesn't get pissed.
Thank you. And Noah, while you shit on me, I do respect your opinion. You're a very educated person, and I love your perspective. You keep it real.
Yeah. You can check out Noah keeping it real on Noah's history segment called History with Noah. Let's not forget about
No,
that.
that's not a segment.
Those are very
Don't make it
good
a segment.
segments.
I
It's
don't-
our favorite segment, Noah.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into history with you, Noah, because I actually tutor world history, AP World History.
You do?
Yeah. I was actually doing that right
How's that
before
working
this
out?
conversation.
Is that like profitable? Is it actually like worthwhile? for you?
I mean,
Or-
it's significantly higher than even Bernie's proposed minimum wage. So,
Damn. All right.
okay, yeah, we
Well-
take those for sure.
Well, I feel
You
like
still
we
have not
probably-
answered my fedora question.
okay, yeah.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
Answer
the
me.
burning
Yeah.
question.
So at the time, my excuse for the fedora is, I just liked it. It's a sense of style. That wasn't really the case. The fedora looked awful. Made me look awful. But at the time, I was very insecure. I was dealing with a lot of hair loss. You know, it just happens sometimes. Puberty, ups and downs. So it's like a convenient tool to hide it, especially in like dealing with people who I would meet first impression. I'd rather give the first impression that I was a moron than that I was, you know, fading away or unhealthy.
To be
That was
fair,
a far more serious answer than I was
I
expecting.
mean, to be fair, Anirudh, nobody thought you were a moron because you wore a fedora. People thought you were weird because you wore a fedora.
I accept that.
I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I've seen people wear all sorts of get-ups at debate tournaments.
Oh my god.
It's pretty crazy. And then you have people who just show up in like jeans, t-shirt, just like hello. I've
Yeah.
come to debate.
Also, a little off topic. Noah, when you accused me of quoting Mussolini, I was not quoting Mussolini. I was quoting Tywin Lannister.
No, I'm pretty sure lions do not concern themselves with the opinions of sheep is a
No,
Mussolini
no. So the
quote.
Mussolini quote is, "It is better to be a lion for a day than a sheep for a lifetime."
Yeah, that makes sense. But, you know, I'm not a reader of Mussolini, so I'm not familiar with his quotes.
I was just giving a lecture on fascism, so I mean, yeah, this is a little fresh in my mind.
World history, I assume?
Yeah, the between the war period.
Classic.
How do you tutor world history? Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I thought about tutoring history before, but I don't understand how you tutor history. Like, to me, like, history is something that, like, you either know or you don't. Like, Like if you're confused about it, go read a book. Like I don't understand. Like how do you tutor history?
So I think it's because you intuitively have an understanding of history in a story format. A little thing that I like to say, it's a little corny, but history is his story. It's a story of humanity, and it's about explaining stories in overarching trends. So, for example, like if I were to take history like Marx and take a class-based understanding, I would look at history as like a series of class revolts, and I would take the story of class rebellions and I'd apply it and see how it changes across different cultures. So, likewise, if I'm telling any history, it's about the higher level thinking about weaving narratives together. So, a
Hmm.
lot of kids
Makes sense.
struggle with that because it's not something that's just intuitive. If you're not a fan of history, then you're not just going to start picking up those archetypes. So, the kids that I work with are mostly kids who are struggling with history. It's not something that they like thinking. So, it's about the way that I work with them is inspiring them to think in that way.
Hmm. Oh,
That's pretty interesting. That's a cool approach.
Thank you.
I guess obviously, as the guests, the listeners of this podcast probably know a bit more about me, Noah, Pranay, and Jacob than you. So uh, we'll just ask you a couple questions just to try and get to know you better, so our listeners can get to
All
know
right,
you
lay it
better.
on me.
So recently we had in Texas the snowpocalypse, as Noah likes to call it, and I'm sure other people as well. So, what was your situation with that? We've already gone over, Jacob had it probably the worst with absolutely like nothing. Noah had no water. Pranay was not even here.
Friggin' Pranay.
I will
Renee.
say now that our water heater did break actually. And,
Oh,
very
wow.
nice.
That
Yeah.
must have been so hard for
Karma.
you.
Karma.
I actually it's not that hard because I just like
Fuck
if I
you,
need to take a
Pranay.
shower, I just go over next door.
All right, I've
and I'll
actually
just take
listened to a
shower
couple of
and
the
then come
episodes of the
back.
podcast, and I think you guys are way too mean at Pranay. It's very important that we're there and support people with special disabilities. Right, we shouldn't
Oh my
dump
God.
on them.
And you'll fit right in here. Don't worry.
Oh,
It's
my-
okay. We all love Pranay probably the most, so we just make fun of him the most. It's just
so
how it works.
If you were asking about my situation, I would consider myself very fortunate. I was pretty diligent to make sure none of my pipes burst, kept the drip going, if you will.
Nice.
In the beginning, I lost power, and then I was in this weird situation where I would lose power anytime my heater was on. So if my heater was on for more than 15 minutes, my power would go off. So what I basically do is I have my little study room downstairs. My family's in India, so I'm living by myself. I just work in my little room, close the door, have my computer give me heat, and then the entire house was like 48 degrees. I had to turn off the water heater too, but that was fine by me. I like taking ice cold showers. Builds mental toughness. So I was just working like that. I actually got like a month's worth of homework done.
Huh.
So I was very fortunate. I also buy food in bulk, so I didn't have any food problems. Didn't have to go out for anything.
That's really nice. I lost all motivation to do homework, honestly, when the snow hit. I was like, my time to relax. But you can definitely respect that.
Well, it's more like if you're in a bad situation, you want to win. So I thought, okay, if it sucks, I might as well get something out of it.
Well, I'm sure we'll see more of that outlook when you talk about your book.
Oh, I'm excited to.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to just, talk about your book a
Okay.
little? What it's about?
So right now, I guess a good place to start is in August of 2020, I was reached out to by an Instagram DM by a professor from Georgetown. He runs something called the Creator Institute, which the whole point of that is he gets people who do creative endeavors or have like are friends of people in his network, and he tries to get them to publish a book. The main goal is that they do something in fiction or nonfiction that opens up opportunities, whether it's in consulting or writing professionally or something even postgraduate or PhD. So when I was doing this, I wanted to write a book about something that is not often talked about, which is the crisis of masculinity. Because at least I'm seeing that because of changing trends and different needs for what it means to be a functioning adult, specifically a functioning man, a lot of young men, and because I have a history of like tutoring young kids and doing a lot of volunteering with young boys specifically who are struggling in school, is that young men are pushed into a world where they can't exactly follow the examples of their fathers, and they're constantly confused on what it means to be a man. So I wanted to create a positive paradigm for masculinity, one where, well, we disavow the negative, toxic masculine tropes of the past and try to create something more productive and healthy, not just for society, but for young men everywhere.
All right. I'll be honest, I was not
That's-
expecting that as a topic.
I'm glad I can keep surprising you, Noah.
It is interesting.
Wait, so
Yeah.
what inspired you to start it, I guess?
Sorry, Pranay, could you repeat yourself?
Yeah, so like when was the moment when you decided, hey, I want to actually write a book? Because I mean, not many people our age actually, I think, sit down and just one day think, hey, I want to write a book.
So I actually wonder. There were a couple of topics. My greatest aspiration is to write fiction, but nonfiction. And here's the thing: I would write a similar message, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. But whenever you're writing fiction, there's a level of abstraction. You can say a message, but you can't be explicit. You show people, you don't tell people. Whereas I prefer as to build my critical thinking skills. I'd much rather take a topic that I would anyway explore and I would talk about it. And for me, masculinity has always been very important to me because a lot of the people who've inspired me in life to be better have been people who have been unabashedly masculine. My original working title for the book was supposed to be Dreams from My Grandfather, but then that sounded a little too memoir-ish. So I decided to just call it The Greater Man, which is my current title.
Yeah, I feel like Obama might have hit you with a copyright strike on that.
I don't care. Fuck Obama.
All right.
Also, I am allowed to cuss, right?
Yes, you're allowed to.
Also,
It's-
Obama's a
it's
fucking
no big
cunt.
deal.
There you go.
Why?
Damn, all right.
Okay, you know what? I feel like that'll lead down a very long road.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we can talk about politics later. we should probably talk.
Politics it's that kind of topic. You feel me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so I know you've come here obviously as a guest on our podcast, but I am aware that you do have your own podcast. So you want to talk about that a little? What you like to talk about on there?
Okay, so I had like 3 episodes of a podcast made called The Dialectic. I stopped doing it the moment I started working my book because I wanted to devote all my creative endeavor towards that. But The Dialectic was basically me analyzing like the fundamental myths of modernity, like things that we take for granted, and basically looking at it from different perspectives. Like one of my favorite topics to talk about is healthcare. So I talked about how during the COVID response, most of the problems we saw in the economy shrinking was just because of healthcare. Healthcare expenditures going down because of COVID. I talked about different art forms. I talked about mixed martial arts like UFC cards, speculation, most of which was always wrong. I'm terrible at predicting fights. But I would just explore random things in different levels of abstraction.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to it, or is that dead in the water?
So originally I was supposed to do it with a friend, but he kind of bailed on me because he was dealing with stressful work. I'm hoping to get back to it as soon as my book is published and ready. I'm about to send my first draft about the 5th of March. So as soon as that's done, my workload is a little free. I can start planning things out.
Oh, that's cool. So you've already finished like an entire draft of your book?
Like I'm probably about 75-80% done.
Okay, nice.
So
Yeah, I don't know if I'd have the mental fortitude to write a book, but
Oh yeah, definitely not. I can barely write an essay as it is. But do you mind like sharing like what you think your ultimate conclusion is going to be? Because like you seem to have like this idea of like where we need to take this idea of masculinity.
Right. So this is a broad topic because I think that there are multiple facets to being a man. A lot of times we have a reductionist view of what being a man is. It's like a man is a provider, a man is a warrior. It's I think very harmful because a lot of people don't fit neatly into boxes. So it's not as simple as me saying I have one conclusion, but I talk about different aspects of masculinity. So, for example, and a lot of times I'm inspired by recent events. So, generally, I have 3 different parts of being a man. First is being accountable for the people in your life. That's your friends and your family, being there for them, being there to support them. The second is being driven for some sort of higher purpose, a cause, something that motivates you to be disciplined every day, gets you ready, helps you build success for yourself, but also provides utility and good for the people around you. And finally, freeing yourself from your chains, effectively dealing with all your vices, dealing with all your insecurities, and dealing with your trauma to heal. One of the big things that I think about is intergenerational trauma, which is how violence from previous generations can affect you. There was a brilliant study showed that PTSD, when it manifests in the brain, can take up to 4 generations to leave a person's family.
I did not know that.
Hmm.
That is pretty crazy.
I guess it makes sense. Sort of damaged parents make damaged children.
Yeah. So I wanted to examine that in different ways.
So would you say your book maybe would help, someone in a situation like that sort of break the cycle of,
Uh,
passing on whatever?
that is one of my higher aspirations. I don't view the success of my book by how many copies I sell, though it would be nice to sell a lot. I view it more as though if I can just help a couple of people, because again, in my experience, I've dealt with a lot of people. Whenever there's a crisis in family, I'm usually there to play peacemaker. So it's just something that it's a role that I've just found myself falling into multiple times. So I wanted to take this book as the next step.
Now, I'm not trying to be okay. I'm going to take the unusual step of trying not to be adversarial here.
Oh, please don't
But I
be
feel-
adversarial. That's your best.
No, I feel like that would somewhat undermine what I'm trying to get at. But anyways, I feel like some people might say why are you trying to reinvent masculinity at all? There's no they might say that society as a whole needs to move on these ideas of traditional gender roles like masculine, feminine, and we shouldn't be looking at people as into we shouldn't be trying to put people into boxes or put people into better boxes. We should be trying to do away with those categorizations entirely and try to get people to see themselves as individuals. How would you respond to those people?
So actually, while writing this book, I did a lot of research into the gender abolitionist movement that harkens to a lot of what you're saying. And I've come to the conclusion that despite masculine and female roles, masculine and female roles are a good archetype for understanding different needs in a society. It's important that we as individuals can both compete with each other and cooperate. Is that there's a place for us to push forward and to do more, and also for space for healing. And I separate different strengths and weaknesses to different masculine and feminine tendencies. Everyone has a spectrum of masculine and feminine. My book is primarily aimed for young boys because, at least from the sociological records that we have, men tend to be more masculine, women tend to be more feminine. So I want to explain that while it's important that we shouldn't divorce ourselves from femininity as men, it's also important that we have to have a good relationship with masculinity. So it's the equivalent of saying that we shouldn't have violence in a society, which I would take a lot of issue with. I would rather say we should have a good relationship with violence than no relationship with it. Likewise, I think it's a good idea to have healthy masculinity rather than no masculinity.
All right. Well, it sounds pretty interesting. I'm gonna be honest, I probably won't read your book. I haven't read a book in 2 years. So,
Rip.
Well, hopefully I can get it as an audiobook. Will that make it a bit more palatable?
no. I don't listen to audiobooks either. I have no idea why, but yeah.
Classic Noah.
I'm
Keeping
just
it real, Noah.
Keeping it real. Do you listen to our podcast, Noah?
No.
I mean, well, you're there when we record it, so why would you? But
Also, I hate the sound of my own voice.
I know Pranay listens to it. Pranay and I both.
Hey,
listen to
there are
our
so
podcast.
many golden moments in this podcast.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. Pranay's snowstorm story, brilliant.
How did you start listening to
Wait,
our podcast, anyways?
Wait, was that the
The
Viking
the
one?
Viking one, beautiful.
Oh
yeah.
my god, that was.
Actually, no, Viswa showed this to me, and I generally like podcasts. They're a good way for me to like I like cleaning my house on Saturdays, so I'll just go through different podcasts throughout the week and just while I'm cleaning.
What do you listen to? Because I also listen to quite a few podcasts as well.
Yeah, so I used to listen to the Joe Rogan Experience a lot, but then it moved to Spotify, and then now I only listen if it's someone cool. I like listening to a lot of political podcasts and mixed martial arts
Interesting.
podcasts. Uh, cool stuff about AI, technology, philosophy. My favorite one right now is one called Crystal Kyle and Friends. It's like a leftist podcast where two YouTubers that I really like interview uh, famous academics, leftist writers, and I think it helps me get a deeper understanding of politics and the world around us. So I like it.
So you said you're at UTD, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you're doing econ.
Yes.
So what do you want to do with that? What's like the end goal there?
Well, I think economics is just a tool to understand the world. Right now, I'm using economics along with programs with cybersecurity. I'm actually also working on a cybersecurity certificate from Cisco. So my hope is that I can hopefully find a career in cybersecurity and cybersecurity analysis. And economics is just a fundamental tool for understanding threat actors and where they might attack. So like game theory, understanding probability, understanding threat assessment. So all those basic stuff.
So I'm curious,
That's a
like, how do
very
you
niche, specifies field.
how do you like exactly work that into like your economics major? Because I imagine that like there's like a lot of classes that deal with like the nitty gritty of like trade law and such, and like not as like it's like not as many classes that deal with like the fundamentals of like human psychoanalysis
So it's actually
or
one of the professors at UTD. He works, like blanking on his name right now, but he's worked with the Pentagon in creating assessments for basically figuring out how terrorists are going to target different groups. So he's basically created used economic models to figure out like the probability of different regions in the Middle East being breeding grounds for terror and their susceptibility to terror. So I want to take that level and deal it with cyber terror. And economics is just a tool for understanding human motivation and human behavior. And I think that's just fundamentally a tool because when you're dealing with cybersecurity, you're dealing with threats, like who's going to attack you, vulnerabilities in your own system, trade offs between different vulnerabilities, and your assessment in trying to deal with them. So you're using these same tools. Economics just gives me a different perspective on that.
fair enough. I haven't heard anybody looking to get a major in economics purely for the sort of behavioral aspect of it, but that is interesting.
Again, most of the time you're working in a job that has very little to do with your major, unless you're like an engineer or a CS major. Most of the time, uh, you have other skill sets that you're working on, your soft skills. Those are a big determinant of your actual job capacity.
Oh yeah, like for example, I'm getting a degree in IA. I'm probably gonna end up working at IHOP.
Well, I mean, you could probably do a
Rip,
bit better.
rip Noah.
You could probably do Carl's Jr.
That's a step down. That's a step down from IHOP, man.
Is it? Actually, no,
I
I
think
haven't
so.
been in
Yeah,
IHOP
one
in
hundred
forever.
percent.
Dude,
Like IHOP, especially late at night, is
IHOP
quite
is
decent.
where you go when like you're like absolutely smashed and like no other place is open. Carl's Jr. is where you go when you try to get to IHOP but you make a wrong turn.
Okay, I don't know. I don't eat at either of those places.
Yeah, I don't even know what they serve at Carl's Jr. So
I'm guessing it's like
I
burgers
don't,
and
I don't think
fried
Mr.
Carl's.
would
chicken.
know either.
They serve Carl's.
What about juniors?
Creative, very creative. Anyway, so let me ask you something. I remember, I think I remember this correctly, but are you vegetarian? I think it's yes, but
So yes, I am a vegetarian, but there's a little bit of a caveat. I'm a vegetarian for ethical reasons, and there are many ways that being a vegetarian is very unethical. So it's something that I've been coming to terms with, and I've done a lot of research in. I am in favor of eating meat from an animal that I have hunted, and I will only hunt animals that are a threat to the biosphere. So, for example, here in Texas, we have a huge problem with wild boars. So one day I'm probably going to go out hunting, kill a wild boar, and probably eat it.
So why did you say that being Vegetarian, it's unethical. Explain that a little bit.
So this is something that I was also doing talk about in my book, which is a relationship with violence. Human beings are very, very violent creatures. Even agriculture is incredibly violent. When uh, those machines that reap wheat through fields at harvest time, I think they're called harvesters, I believe. Uh, when they go through a field, they will kill thousands of rabbits that we are paying for our wheat, our bread, with the blood of innocent little creatures. The pesticides that we use uh, kill a large insect population, which further affects birds, small rodents, and then up the food chain. We commit a lot of violence against Mother Nature. So I think that a sustainable consumption of food, one that minimizes violence, is one where we also have to do violence and hunt animals. Because at least if we get rid of animals that are nuisances to the environment, like wild hogs, which are destroying the local Texas environment, we do so a favor to the earth while also negating some of the harm that we do through agriculture. So it's a more nuanced perspective.
You think that's
But
like
Nice.
sustainable for like everyone to do? Like maybe sure it's um a lot of people can do that like on themselves, but like to have everyone move to that sort of lifestyle, is that do you think that's sustainable?
It really depends because here's the thing, right? If we all ate meat at the same level as the average American, it would not be sustainable. One of the big reasons that the Amazon is being cleared is for cow pastures because beef production is up. Uh, so there's a bit of a nuanced approach. Ideally, we'd be insectivores because that's a highest amount of protein and nutrients per like energy input.
I can't.
I'm gonna stop you right there,
Nope.
Chief. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable.
I said ideally.
that is not ideal.
No,
that is
not ideal.
Not ideal.
Yeah, in
Not
no
ideal.
way.
Medic.
Ideal from an
That's not ideal
environmentalist
in any world.
perspective.
Hey,
Anirudh,
now all
I cannot emphasize this enough. I would rather kill myself and everybody else in the city than have to eat insects to live.
I mean,
no. Would you become vegan
Uh,
if you had to choose between being vegan or eating insects?
bro,
Now you gotta
That's
pin
not
against the
even a
wall,
question.
man.
no, I would rather be vegan because spinach doesn't crawl around on the fucking bathroom floor.
well, I mean, most
That is true.
I've done a little bit of research. Most of the insects that people eat are like crickets that are specifically bred. But again,
Fuck crickets.
again, it is just one
I-
option. But like different ways that we can look at sustainable consumption until we get like proper lab grown meat, until we're able to create more sustainable methods of agriculture that don't rely on these factory farms or animal husbandry. We're kind of stuck always picking some sort of violent option. So that's something that I've been thinking a lot about.
Man, I've never been happier to be vegetarian. Honestly,
Yep. I mean,
thinking about
wait,
insects kind of
Wait,
disgusts
Viswa, are
me.
you vegetarian for religious reasons or for ethical reasons? Or-
I don't know. I was just raised vegetarian, so I'm just like, this is my life now. We go with it. Like,
Yeah.
there's no necessary. I'm not like I'm doing it for this reason or I'm doing it for that reason. I'm just doing it because I was raised to do
Yeah,
it.
when I told my mom, she was heartbroken.
When you told her you were
No,
vegetarian,
that I was going,
or-
that I was planning on hunting.
oh, nice.
Noah, nice.
I don't know. I think that's pretty funny.
Okay, well, tell us a bit about your whole martial arts. I always see you posting pictures of you with this dude, and you're always on the mat, like slapping each other. So tell me what that's all about.
Okay, so not slapping, but jujitsu. It's a grappling art that's focused on forcing the opponent to submit, either through the threat of choking them out or by snapping their joints.
Basically, really violent grinder.
Yeah, essentially. It to the outside viewer, it is very sexual. If you're in there, the last thing on your mind is sex. Well, so jujitsu, it's a offshoot from Japanese jiu-jitsu, which then turned into judo, which then went to Brazil, became Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which is the variant that I practice. Uh, Generally speaking, it's a grappling event. Uh, there's not much to say other than it is one of the few events or combat sports where you can practice at full blast because, at least relative to it, there's very low chance of injury from concussion. Though I have been slammed against the mat, which has resulted in a concussion before. But it's a
Mm.
safer art, and at least from the philosophy of jiu-jitsu, if most fights can end up on the ground, being able to navigate on the ground provides a lot of ample safety. Humans are much more explosive and dangerous standing up. Taking them to the ground neutralizes that. Easier to control and detain and de-escalate a situation.
So how did you even get into this?
Yeah. So uh, this one's a little tough to talk about, but so right after I graduated senior year, my grandfather passed away, and it was a really tough time for all of us. My mom had to go back to India, and I was basically stuck here taking care of my sister. So just to like get my mind off of that, I enrolled into a local MMA gym. I did some Muay Thai, I did some Jiu Jitsu, some wrestling. Uh, Basically, it was a tough time for me. I remember because I would go all the way there. I would show up like I'd be there 15 minutes early. I'd just wait in my car. I'd cry, have a nervous breakdown, then go inside, train, feel better, come back home, do my chores. It was just something that I dealt with, and it helped me, but like gave a lot of self discipline in order for me to get out of tough times. And then later on, earlier last year, 2019, my aunt passed away, and she was in many ways like an older sister to me, and so that was also tough. So decided, okay, go back to jiu-jitsu. There's a academy here in Plano. Shout out to Sharp and Iron Academy here in Plano, and I enrolled, and I tried to go as often as possible. COVID, injuries, a lot of stuff got in my way, but it's just something that's given structure to my life.
So it's almost therapeutic for you.
Very. It's actually the first day here at Saya. One of the black belt instructors, we call black belts professors because getting a black belt in jiu-jitsu is equivalent of doing a PhD. But he's a smaller guy. He's about 5'5". He's actually I could probably lift him with one arm. He grabbed me by the lapels of my kimono, and I realized, holy shit, this man could snuff my life out like a candle. At that point, I was hooked.
That is kind of weird. I'm gonna be honest.
It is both terrifying and inspiring, honestly.
Like you found a way to cope with tragedy that somehow involves you having a like some sort of, like weird fetish for like almost dying repeatedly.
Well, once again, it's not a matter of just embracing that, but it is an outlet. It is a way to express a different side of me because we can't, like, again, it's very important to have a healthy relationship with violence. We can't just go out in the street and just pick fights with people. That's disastrous for society. That's dangerous to ourselves. It's not healthy. So we need a structured way for that to happen. So I find grappling as something that best fits that. And again, for different people, their mileage may vary, but I just love jujitsu.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I know for me personally, I'm a fan of the desk slam technique.
Oh yeah. No, every time we play
Yeah,
with,
it's
I
Jake.
can feel like just taking on his violence on his desk.
He is a black belt in that, very much, Professor.
Oh my god. All right.
Hey, look, in my defense, I also have a black belt in Taekwondo, so it's not as hard to get, but I still
I
got
also
it,
have a
Jake.
black
So I
belt in
don't wanna hear it.
Taekwondo. The first time I
Yeah, see?
fought against a Thai boxer, I realized that means shit.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything, but I still got it, okay?
Well, one last question. I think we'll move on to greener pastures. When you hunt that boar, will you try to perform an armbar on it?
No, animals are much more dangerous than humans. Like a boar that's even like 90 pounds is very capable of causing serious bodily damage to me.
Right.
And
But
I'm also
if
not
you
a very
were
good
to
fighter.
try to grapple that boar,
Uh, I'd probably try to take the back. An armbar doesn't work. I think the leverages for a boar's joints make an armbar untenable.
all right. Well, that boar better tap out. Well, actually, no. You're gonna kill Anita anyway, so I don't think it matters.
Well, I would probably do it in an ethical way. I'd probably use a gun. I'm a big fan of bolt action rifles, so that's probably what I'd use.
That's
Well-
kind of weird. Not gonna lie, that is kind of weird.
That I'm
At least you're in Texas, you know?
no. So here's the thing, right? I'm pretty liberal. I'm actually a socialist, But you can't be a socialist without being in favor of the Second Amendment. People should have the right to defend themselves.
Anirudh, I'm gonna be completely straight with you. If I didn't know you personally and somebody just described you to me verbally, I would think that you were a school shooter. I would think that, like, legitimately, like, oh my god, this guy's gonna kill everybody he knows. But, like, I'm incapable of believing that from you because you're the most infuriatingly happy person I've ever met. I've ever had the displeasure of meeting. I hate the fact that, like, you somehow come to school every day and, like, you are just so upbeat. It's disgusting.
Well, have you met Pranay?
Pranay is a different kind of upbeat. See, Pranay is happy because he doesn't understand how bad life is. He's a fucking golden retriever. Anirudh gets it, but he doesn't care. He comes to school anyways, and he realizes that life is bullshit, and he's so fucking happy anyways. And I hate
So what's
it.
your analogy for that? What is he like?
I don't
Pranay's a golden retriever.
fucking bullshit. That's my analogy.
Okay.
No, I think Noah's just
Okay.
upset that I've risen above the chains that hold him down.
Yeah, and I want to pull him back down here, because now he ain't getting out.
You're not strong
No.
enough, Noah.
No.
No, this is-
He's
no,
Bane
it's-
trying
no,
to
it's
get
just
out
a
of
bit
the hole,
alone
and I'm
down
like,
there.
no, you're coming back here, buddy. You were born in the darkness. You are staying down here. But anyways, yeah, let's move on.
Batman level shit.
All right. Speaking of climbing out of the darkness, GameStop.
GameStop.
Hey,
Man.
the stocks are
GameStop.
back.
Yeah, it's going to the moon.
Oh my god.
To the moon.
It's going to the
Wait,
fucking moon.
since the last time we talked, I don't know.
I'm holding.
Yeah, so you still have the stuff that you bought.
I bought 5 at 90.
Oh no.
Damn. All right,
Um,
Anirudh. All right. Are you familiar with
I wrote.
our Lord
I
and
mentioned
Savior
in my
GameStop?
chapter. I mentioned my chapter. I hate speculation. There are very few things I hate more than gambling.
Oh, but
I
this is
hate everything
speculation,
about
my
this.
friend.
This is
This is
speculation.
not speculation.
It's not
This is
speculation.
entire-
It's a fact. These rockets to the moon. Diamond hands, baby.
Together strong.
See, this is the type of This is the type of stereotypically masculine behavior that I absolutely hate. This is what I disavow in my book. Speculation is bad.
All right, paper hands. All right, paper hands. Now, while you're sitting there being like all non-toxically masculine, us apes are gonna get on a fucking rocket and we're going to Mars, bitch.
Oh man.
Noah, do you have anything invested in GME?
Not a penny. But I am along for the ride spirit, my man. Like, I am here for it. I'm here for the ride. Like, this stock is probably the most exciting thing to happen, like, all year. And I'm counting the Capitol riots. Like, this is the funniest shit I've ever witnessed.
No, so
Noah,
I agree with you that there is a sense of justice here in that it's a little guy taking it to the big guy. There's a little David and Goliath feeling about that. I appreciate that. I still think it's unhealthy.
All right, but, like, everything's unhealthy, man.
No?
I don't know. Well, the
Everything-
reason I even invested in the first place was, like, I don't know. I wanted to start, trading stocks, like, actually doing stuff like that, finance-wise. And I figured putting some of my own money in would probably encourage me to do a bit more, like, learning and reading, which I have. So, you know what? Even if, like, the amount of money I put in, I was, like, okay with losing.
So can I offer you this? In a systematic study done by Forbes, they found that over the past 10 years, hedge funds filled with so-called sophisticated investors had an 8% return on the market, whereas the S&P 500, the ragtag index stocks, had a 15% return. You are actually better off just investing in an index fund than any type of specialized trading, statistically.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we're fucking him over.
No, I agree, definitely. But it's just kind of fun. You know what I mean?
See,
Oh my god.
Like,
see, this is
It's a bit like a game. Like, we all took econ in high school, right? And we all had to do the economics, like the stock trading game.
yeah, I remember.
So I just obviously it's real money and stuff, but
I swear to God,
it's also
man.
fun. It's also
So,
fun.
see,
Like,
this
I
is
am not
where it's
gonna lie.
gambling and speculation, because that thrill, the dopamine, that is the destructive behavior.
Dude, I am a gambling addict, man. Loot boxes, give me them all day.
So let me ask you this then: if you were to go to like Vegas, right? Would you not like participate in any of like would you not play poker, blackjack, nothing?
Not if money's on the line.
What?
I think it's unhealthy.
So you just like play for fun if that was an option.
Yeah, I play for fun. Or again, if I was just given money, like casino chips they can't be turned into cash. I'm stuck in that system. Then yeah, I'll play around with it. But I'm never gonna put any of my money in it.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess I just don't have the same value for $20 as you do.
Yeah, Noah lives for the gamble.
Oh my god, that's the only thing that warms my cold dead heart, man. It's like, it's that feeling of the gamble.
Well, so this is actually something that's been worrying me. In recent years, gambling has been increasing. There was a study that found that at least 60% of college-age men will engage in some form of gambling, and of that, up to 5 to 6% of them will develop a crippling gambling addiction that could ruin their lives.
Well, Noah is definitely in that 5 or 6. It's not 5 to 6%.
Hey, look, man, gambling can't ruin my life any more than I already have. All right, like gambling's gonna have to step up if it wants to ruin my life. All right, I'm already up here. I'm at the top of my game when it comes to ruining my life. All right, gambling ain't got nothing on me.
Well, so then what happens if that problem becomes someone else's problem? Like the people who have problem gambling addictions, they don't just end up living in a box down the street. Sometimes they end up getting into financial institutions like hedge funds. Their gambling can have disastrous effects to the global economy.
That's why I'm never getting a job.
Okay, I mean, if you want to restrict your if you want to restrict all the damage you do just to yourself, I find that more noble than most.
All right. Well, I don't have a gambling addiction, to be clear. I just think it's really funny to say that I do.
My perspective is, and Pranay, I want your perspective after this because you're also studying like econ and math and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, my perspective is if you take an amount of money that you're okay losing. Like if I go to a casino, I'll take like $200 and I'll be like, you know what? If I lose all of this $200, that's fine. And I'll just like have fun with it, you know? Like it's to me, it's like the same as like maybe like buying something, right? So I'm buying like the entertainment I'm getting at a casino in Las Vegas, and like that's even though I'm like gambling the 200, I look at it the same way.
I mean, I guess like part of it is that like you need to see gambling as an inherently losing proposition and be okay with that. But also I think some people just need like a dopamine fix. It's like really no different between like gambling addiction, heroin addiction.
That is true.
Whatever.
So again, like what Visor, it's the equivalent of drinking responsibly or just drinking at a party or a social event. You're doing something where you set limits to make sure it doesn't become disastrous later down the line. That's far more responsible. Ideally, you don't do that at all. Like the best way to stay healthy is to not drink at all. But if you enjoy drinking, do it responsibly. If you enjoy the rush of losing money, do it responsibly. But it becomes a problem when it becomes addictive.
Oh man, I love losing money.
Yeah. The house always wins. These casinos are function. The stock market is function, so the house always wins.
Yeah,
if you have no illusions, then I think that's much better.
What do you think, Renee?
I feel like what this is kind of is fine. It's just like if you view it as just the same way as you view paying to play laser tag, then it should be fine in my opinion. Like,
oh man, we should play laser tag.
If you have that mindset, that it should be fine. But if it's like I don't know, you're just addicted to laser tag, you just can't stop playing laser tag, then that's a bit unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Addiction is bad, kids. Don't get addicted to anything. Not even air.
Yeah.
I can stop breathing whenever I want to.
I don't know if anyone.
It's not a problem.
Man, but laser tag takes me back.
Oh man, dude.
I don't know. I feel like we'd always have these school events where they'd be like, go to main event and pay like $20, and then
laser tag was the event.
Wait, so I have a question. Laser tag or paintball? I want everyone to give me an answer.
Paintball, easy.
Thank you, Noah.
I got shot in the neck while playing paintball. It was the best shit ever. It was so fun.
I think paintball I've seen Community. So you guys haven't seen Community, but they have these amazing paintball scenes in Community. So absolutely, like for me, it's paintball.
I remember I was trying to get you guys to like play paintball with me. Like I really wanted to play paintball.
I remember
and you guys
this, actually.
just
I was with you, Noah.
Yeah,
I was with you.
Yeah, the rest of you guys, you pussied out on me. I was like, come on, guys, let's play paintball.
What?
You're like, no, I don't want to get hurt.
When was this?
There's
I
nothing
don't
in
think
life
I've
without
ever
pain.
said this in my life.
Noah, if you ever ask me to do paintball, I will 100% say yes.
I don't want to
also
do
think every
paintball with you. You're gonna be
opportunity-
too happy, man. You're gonna ruin my vibe.
I would be happy putting inflicting pain on you.
That's you put it in such a way as it has stopped sounding fun and it started becoming oddly sexual. I don't like this. I need help.
You just
Wait,
enjoyed.
what were you saying about paintball? Did you agree with Noah?
Actually, I don't know what my opinion. I mean, like, I've never turned down a PayPal opportunity. I will say that, but I don't know.
Wait.
Like,
Are you sure? I didn't know. I remember Joey led the army of I don't want to get shot.
Oh yeah.
Joey's like, I don't know, I'm not doing it. Like
Oh
Joey
my
was
God.
not for it. I remember.
I feel like a lot of it depends on like the setting or the arena in which you're playing.
That is true.
Too.
Like an obstacle course.
Like a really, really sick laser tag arena with like multi levels and stuff. Like that could be just like a random playing field of paintball.
Yeah.
I mean, I like doing paintball in the woods. There's a survivalist aspect to it that I enjoy.
Yeah, it definitely could be fun. I mean, with laser tag, there's always the chance you get like technical difficulties, like your thing doesn't shoot any lasers, or like you can't get shot, or it's like lagged out. Like I don't know. I faced those like quite a few times when I play laser tag. But with paintball, it's like very straightforward. You get hit with paint, you're done. Otherwise, you're in it. Like
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Well, I'm a fan.
I
You
don't
know
know.
what?
I just,
I think post COVID, we should all go play some paintball.
I mean, you can do
No.
you can do paintball even
Sure.
during COVID. I mean,
I don't know.
you can be socially distant.
Yeah, but like honestly, I just feel like I don't want to take that risk. Like honestly, like because like I'm quarantining at home, like with my family. Like any risk I take upon myself, I'm therefore also like taking upon them.
That is
And-
true. Your risk calculus is different than mine. I'm living by myself right now.
How's that working out for you, by the way?
Oh, I love it. I'm super productive. It's a little. I'm a person who likes a clean house, but I'm also a very messy person. So it's a little annoying sometimes. But other than that, I love it. I'm free.
So do you like have contact with like anybody?
Of course, I train in jiu-jitsu. I have friends. I
Oh,
do like
yeah, yeah.
I do
No,
watch
I'm a
parties
dumbass.
for the UFC. Like every fight card that happens. Like there's a card this Saturday. I'm gonna call some friends over. We're gonna drink and enjoy.
responsibly.
responsibly.
Yeah, drink responsibly.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. Well.
I like how Cobb has been silent this entire time, and then he's just like, okay,
All right. Well.
all right,
I'm an intense person.
GOP. It's fine. It's fine. I don't think anyone is. I don't. Noah's 21st birthday is coming up like this year,
Wait.
as is mine.
I
Oh yeah.
hate-
Oh, this year. Okay, I thought you were. It's recent. I'm turning 21 in September.
August, bitch.
Oh, so you're a little older.
Yeah, get fucked.
Oh, I'm younger. Rip December boys.
I've been in this world longer than y'all. That's why I have this grim
I mean, do you guys think
outlook on
by
life.
fall, I guess with the whole COVID situation, will that sort of hopefully be resolved? Will people be vaccinated across the board? Like,
I
what do
mean,
you guys think is going to happen
I
in the fall?
feel realistically it's going to be at least like Christmas time before things go really back to normal. Even if like things start to get moving around the fall time, it still won't be like 100% like it used to be. People will still have like that fear and the anxiety, even if they're vaccinated. It's just like the mental stigma of like, oh, maybe this person has it. I could still potentially get it. It's not like 100% effective. I think only about like Christmas time things will be truly back to normal.
Like my grandparents.
That's just me.
Sorry, go ahead, God.
Yeah, that's just like me. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, like my grandparents just got their second shot. Like I think it was like last week or it was like very recently. And my parents have yet to like even get on like the wait list. So like I'm like just like sort of like thinking about like those tiers where like it took a couple months for my grandparents to get it, and honestly, it'll probably won't be until like summer for like my parents to get it, and they're more at risk than me. So like honestly, I'm probably not gonna get it until like I don't know,
That's,
September at the earliest.
It was
Yeah, like just going on that, like most of my family is like medical professionals, right? So we were like very first in line, right? But like even when like a lot of my family got it, it didn't change like how they interacted at all. Like they were still super super precautious, even with the people who had the vaccine. Like even with like all the other like people who worked in the hospital, like there was no real change, even though everybody's vaccinated.
Well, so one thing that I've read, this is from Politico, that the United States is on track, hopefully by April, to have 3 million doses ready each day. So we could actually see a huge push. 3 million doses is about 1.5 million people a day. We could see a huge push in April that could probably culminate in July. A lot of, at least herd immunity being achieved. My math is correct.
I hope so, but honestly, I'm I'm gonna lean towards pessimism here, just because I feel like just government procurement in general is slow as fuck, and I just have no faith in the government's ability to roll this out on a federal, state, or city level in a timely manner.
Yeah, I get that. Faith in government is in an all-time low for me as well. And I'm a socialist.
I mean, I am too, but that doesn't mean I like this one.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, there's a question for you, Noah. What type of socialist are you?
I'm the kind who hates everybody, and I think that like
So a cynical prick.
yeah, that's a pretty good way to sum it up. I don't think anybody should be like have too much power because everybody's very stupid and liable to make bad decisions.
Okay.
You know, it's interesting. Actually, I've had a lot of discussions with Noah. Actually, I feel like we've had maybe even discussions on this podcast before about how surprising like certain facts are about the American populace. Like, what was like the average SAT score of?
Isn't it like
I
1060?
remember Noah and I talked about this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, something like 900 or
Yeah.
1100, right?
So I think the average SAT score when I looked it up,
The mean of the bell curve should be around 1060. That's what College Board tries to do it every time,
yeah,
right?
it was like 1,900, something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
And top 90th percentile was at 1,300. And I'm gonna be honest, that kind of shook me.
Well, I mean, you have to understand the data is a little skewed. A lot of people are taking it with English as their second language.
Yeah, but not everybody.
I mean, I think at least 15% of the country has English as their second language, right?
Yeah, but it wouldn't skew the data like.
Yeah, that's not like
Well-
like half of the scores are below like 1,000.
Yeah, but again, right. Tests like those, like same thing with IQ tests, take them with a grain of salt. There are multiple different types of intelligence, multiple different types of expression. People are a lot smarter than you give them credit for.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying like the SAT is like the end all be all of like
Yeah.
how smart you are, but
Like
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like
interesting.
It's like where I put the bar was honestly just like, I thought like, like yeah sure, I'm not expecting everybody to have like, super high reading comprehension, math, like all that, but like honestly, like I was not expecting the average to be that low, and
All I'm gonna say is, I recently saw a video where they went out and asked 100 different Americans across the country to point on a map where North Korea
Oh, no.
was, and there was at least 5% of the responses were inside the United States.
yes. I mean, we have North Dakota, North Carolina. I mean,
You get
what's
confused
one
for
more?
a
What's one
homie,
more?
man.
With like North Korea. Come on,
North Carolina.
51st state.
Oh, the North Carolina comes
Oh,
out in
man.
the return.
PJ.
Do you know that meme? Oh my! Do you know that meme where it's like that dude in glasses and he's just drenched in sweat?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's Renee right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just pretend you don't know what we're talking about, Pranay. Yeah.
Oh, but do you still have that North Carolina coin?
I do. I do still have that North Carolina
Yeah.
coin. It is my lucky
Are you
coin.
gonna take that coin to your grave?
I will take it to my grave.
What the hell?
Are you gonna put it over your forehead like the Romans did? Actually, so this is a
Possible.
question I have for everyone. When you die, how do you want your body to be treated? How do you want your remains to be prepared?
Throw it in the trash. Honestly,
Okay.
Okay.
like, well, actually no. Donate for like whoever needs organs. That's probably the better thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's say you die in a car crash and like your organs are unusable.
Scrape me off the road and throw me into the trash. It's like, I mean, I'm dead. I don't care what happens to my body.
Okay.
Like,
That's fair.
as far as I'm
Bob?
concerned, like any amount of money spent on me after I'm dead is a waste.
That's pretty pragmatic.
All right, Jit. What about you?
I mean, well, I'm Hindu, so probably just cremated.
Okay.
BJ.
Yeah, probably the same. I
Yeah.
don't have any like specific thing that I want.
Oh well, I do need to leave whoever like whatever. No, to leave Noah my door.
Oh yeah.
I made a promise to Noah in the 7th grade
Yeah, I
that
gotta write that into my will.
if that were to ever happen, I would give Noah my door.
That was such a weird, stupid promise.
Yeah, I'm holding
Yeah,
it.
I
Noah.
am too.
What-
Like honestly,
you-
I'm
what do
holding
you
that
mean
promise
by
just
door?
because of how stupid it is.
Like you know how you have to open a door to get to my room.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
bedroom
I'm
door.
gonna
Yeah.
give Noah that
Yeah,
door.
we made a promise to each other that whoever dies
a door
first,
to his
they
door.
have to leave their bedroom door to the other person in their will. I don't know why we
see.
decided on that.
Oh, that's strangely sweet. I like
I
it.
have no fucking clue why we decided. That was like the dumbest
adorable.
promise to make. It's a door. If anything, it's gonna be an inconvenience because where the fuck are you gonna put it? It's a door.
And then
It's adorable.
As one house will just not have a door.
But you know what? It's fucking hilarious, so we're doing it.
Yeah, we kept it with it.
It'll remind you of Jit.
Anirudh, did you mean to do that?
The pun?
Yeah.
The first time, no. The second time, yes.
Okay. I just had to clarify.
I didn't even notice the fun. Wait a
No,
second.
don't repeat it. Don't repeat. I didn't notice it either, and I don't want to know.
There are levels to this game,
Okay.
Viswa. Try to keep up.
Bruh, it's my mental capacity as time. Look, today's been a very long day for me, but
Oh, yeah. You mentioned
can
earlier
do
that
it.
you were busy. What were you doing?
oh well, I had like a hackathon earlier today, and I had like a bunch of assignments I had to finish, and then I had more meetings for these other clubs. It's just one big mess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But in other news, wait, did we miss anyone? Cobb, how would you want yours?
I'll go traditional. I'll just be buried. You know.
Are you gonna
I
have
mean,
like a?
eventually. What?
Sorry, are you gonna have like what are those like? Is it an open casket? Is that what those are called?
It's like that's just like the funeral. Like if you want people to see your body or not.
Are you
Like
gonna have that?
I guess I don't really have an opinion on that yet.
Well, if you have to have it one right now, or else I'll kill you.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they make you look. They
Wait, no,
they
Cobb, don't
make you
answer.
look good.
If
all
you
that
don't
kinda
answer,
stuff.
he
Yeah.
can't kill you because he won't know how to bury you.
Oh.
Oh
That
wait a
was on a
second.
different level.
Hey, there's levels to this game. I heard someone say that once.
Oh no, I'd probably do open if I had to do it right now.
That'd be so weird. I
It's
don't.
just what I've-
That's just weird to me. But you do you, Cobb. Yeah,
I mean,
I'll
that's just what
respect it.
like every funeral that I've been to has been like that. So
Oh,
Mhm.
actually,
Okay.
you
Oh.
know
Fair
what? I would
enough.
want my body to like be used for something like interesting, like being launched out of a catapult. That would be cool.
Okay, I feel like it's super sus. I want my body to be used for something interesting.
Not necrophilia. Necrophilia is not interesting.
NASA does take like people who have died and they like test them out in space using their different
Oh,
cells.
you know what?
So
Yeah,
you can do
sign
that.
me up. Fucking shoot me into space. Like, because as far as I'm concerned, once I'm dead, then I think my body should be used for something that you wouldn't be able to use a living person for,
Mm-hmm.
i.e., throwing them from a catapult.
And what about you, Anirudh? How would you want?
So here's the thing. What I want will probably be irrelevant because the funeral is for my family to mourn. Hopefully, my friends too. But I would probably want my body donated to science after my organs have been given up. medical students can learn. Maybe Cobb can use it. Learn how to better operate on
You'd have to
people.
die pretty fast, man.
Oh my god! Could you imagine when like Cobb's a doctor? He has like the skeleton in like the corner of his office, and every patient he's like, "Hey, that's my friend Anirudh." That's the skeleton right there.
But they would think I was insane.
Nah, man, you're a doctor.
Those are the
you
best
have, you
kind
have
of
an excuse.
doctors.
You're a doctor. Come
Wait,
on,
so-
every doctor, like you gotta have a skeleton, man. Like, come on. it's part
Wait,
of
so
your-
are those skeletons in doctors' offices like real skeletons, or I thought those were just
No
models?
way, right?
No.
No.
There's no way.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
No, they're made of plastic.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay.
That's a little too morbid even for me.
In other less morbid news, Noah got summoned to jury duty. Yay!
Seriously? Lucky.
Yep, I got my summonses. I'm not.
Do you wanna get out of it?
Myself. Honestly, it depends on the case. If the case is interesting, then yeah, I want to go. But like, looking up jury duty, I learned that apparently Texas is one of 3 states where you can request a trial by jury for any level of charge, even as low as a parking ticket, which means I could potentially be stuck there for like half a week listening to some dude argue that like he shouldn't have to pay his like speeding ticket because he was high and he didn't realize how fast he was going.
Texas. I love you, Texas.
Fucking hate this state, man.
I love this state. It's strange, but out of all the places that I've lived, it's one of the least racist places and one of the most lively and rich.
I feel like you're probably just going to the wrong parts of Texas.
I mean, Dallas, Austin, Houston, a couple of times
see,
Waco and San
going to,
Antonio.
like, the metropolitan parts of Texas. I'm talking about like the bumfuck like middle of nowhere parts of Texas.
Also, PJ had a. We talked about this earlier, but PJ has seen firsthand that Southern hospitality is real.
Yeah, look, these are civilized people. They're real people.
Yeah, I mean, most people are civilized. It's kind of comes with being in a civilization.
Indeed. So, wait, back to the jury duty thing, really quick now.
Yep.
So, wait, Pranay, do you remember that episode of The Office where Stanley talks about jury duty? Would you do it, Noah, just because you get air conditioning and you get food
Well,
and you just get to
no,
judge
I
people?
don't because I gotta do it over Zoom.
Oh no, it's even
Oh,
worse.
right.
Yeah.
Wait, do you get what like you just do jury duty just to do jury duty, or do you get paid anything? I don't know. I
Apparently,
forgot.
You can be paid anywhere from $6 to $50 per day, although that can be waived by the county at the county's discretion. So I could potentially be paid nothing, fucking nothing,
Okay.
or
Wow.
I could be
That
paid
kinda
$6. Fat lot of good that'll do me.
Oh wow. Okay, well, I mean, there are ways you can get out of it.
Yeah, but like honestly, I checked and I'm not eligible for any of them.
No, there are
They
different
interview
ways.
you, don't they interview you?
Yeah, I guess I
can
could
just,
tell
like,
them
say
I'm
some
screaming
real
racist,
sketchy
but like
stuff.
that feels somewhat disingenuous.
So here's a little thing. I
You
actually
can
found
just say
this
you're a
out.
socialist.
Oh, continue, Pranay.
I was just gonna say, just say you're a socialist, and then there
Nice.
you go.
I mean, yeah, but you could do that, or this is actually something I found out in my first Lincoln Douglas debate topic was on jury nullification. And if you know the inner workings of jury nullification, then legally you can't sit on a jury.
Ooh.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
I saw this in an episode of Suits.
I saw this in an
because
episode of
I-
CGP Grey.
Yes, very nice. No, I just read about jury nullification.
And you're out of it.
Yeah, but
Well-
like I kind of want to see just like on the off chance that it's like an actual interesting case, because I am pretty bored.
Do you get the details of the case before you've been selected?
No, I don't
thought
think
that
so. I'm
was-
pretty sure.
I don't
yeah,
know.
I don't think they would tell you
Yeah,
anything until.
My understanding of how jury duty works, honestly, my understanding of most things in the world come from TV. But my understanding of how jury duty works is that once like they, I guess, ask you all like the questions and they decide to put you on the jury, and once it's like the jury has been finalized, that's when they actually like reveal what the case is. So you have no idea what case is until you've been like finalized as part of the jury.
Yeah, well, in all likelihood, I'll probably just get stricken anyways, just because I don't know, like, I don't know, like,
it depends. Texas has some they try to set standards to find the most vindictive jurors possible.
Oh
No, it can fit
no.
right in.
Oh no.
But Noah doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's gonna say, "Oh, this guy was caught with X amount of cocaine. He should get 15 years in prison." He doesn't seem
Oh
very
man.
vindictive.
That man needs to be out on the streets, cleaning up the streets, cleaning up the cocaine on the streets, man. He's doing a
He's
public service.
he's doing the Lord's work.
Yeah. He's cleaning up the drugs we have on the street, man. Like
Yeah, he's taking them off the street and putting them inside him.
Yeah.
Well.
And that's honestly kind of a nice note to end it on. But before we do that, Anirudh, do you want to tell us a bit about where we could probably maybe find your book
Oh,
in the future?
okay. So the way that this works is I'm going to start a pre-sale campaign, probably over Kickstarter. So I'll be posting like the updates for that on Instagram and my other official social media. My Instagram is just Anirudhgargofficial. You'll find it. It'll be a vague LinkedIn-like profile picture of me and random times of me doing jujitsu. But effectively, you can follow the latest updates for whatever is happening in my book when the pre-sale campaign launches. Special benefits you can sign up for. Hopefully, I'll start launching a Substack so I can start doing weekly newsletters.
Okay, yeah, solid. So, uh, is that all you want to talk about for that, or is there anything else you want to add, maybe about your book, or just?
Yeah, so I would say this. The way that this book will reach wider audiences, like get translated into different languages, is more people join onto the pre-sale campaign. Because I working with New Degree Press, but I own all the royalties and the rights to my book. So the pre-sale campaign allows me to fund the publication of it. So if you're even vaguely interested in these ideas, supporting the pre-sale campaign makes it much easier for me to reach a wider audience. My goal is to have it translated into as many languages as possible and even make it accessible in audiobook formats.
Oh, yeah, really cool. I guess we will. I hope that pans out for you, and I mean, we'll see. As the progress of your book's
I
launch
thank you for your well wishes.
starts
For
to roll
sure.
out, right? Beyond that, I think we all had a great time talking to you.
Yeah.
I had a great time as well. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, during this episode. And I mean, if you want to see us, bring in more guests on Stating the Obvious, you can leave a comment on wherever you're watching this from and let us know. You can follow us to get more updates about when we're posting new episodes of the podcast. Yeah, hope you have a great rest of your day, night, whenever. And thanks for listening.
What the fuck?